Okay, here's the first type of 3D pen. I have two different varieties. So here's the first one. You're not going to get it inside this box, but you should know what the pieces look like. Okay, so let's look. So it won't be wrapped in the plastic, but here is what the 3D pen looks like. And then we have a block. And then we have the cord. So these are the things that you're going to need at first. Again, for this variety, the MYNY3D printing pen. I have two of these right now, but again, I may get more in the future. But this first set of directions deals with this pen. All right, so your first step is going to be to plug it in, okay? So I am going to need to attach the right here. So I'm going to connect it here. All right, and then I am going to connect this end to the block, and then I'm going to plug in the block. So there you go. First step, plug it in. I need to attach the cord here to the 3D pen, and then I need to plug this into an outlet. Okay, let me just explain what the parts of this 3D pen. So again, here's where I plugged it in right here. That's where filament is going to go, but we're not there yet. This is withdraw, and this is feed, so, you know, coming out. And then we have temperature up and down. We're just going to leave that alone. And then we have speed control, okay, up here. All right, so those are all the parts. So once this is plugged in, what I need to do is press the feed button. So I'm going to press the feed button, and then I'm going to wait. Do you see now? Can you see the temperature is changing? Nothing was happening before, but now the temperature is raising. This end is going to get very hot. Please don't touch it. So you can see my temperature is increasing. I'm going to let that, let me just try and focus it again so you can see. That temperature is increasing, so we're about almost halfway there. Again, this end is getting hot, don't touch it. This right here was the button I pressed to start that process, okay? All right, so to get myself ready, I need this mat. That's going to be my working surface. Okay, something you notice, I have these silicone little finger caps. I'm going to be holding the pen with my right hand. So I have this on my left hand, so just in case I accidentally touch the tip, I am not going to burn myself. Okay, and now it's time to load the filament. So I'm going to choose a color. Here's the color that I have chosen. All right, let me just get a nice focus. All right, what I want to make sure is, do you see how this is cut straight across? That's what I want it to be. All right, so I am going to make sure it is not tangled, okay? And I'm going to take this end right here, and I'm going to load it in here, press it in until it stops, okay? Once I have done that, okay, I'm ready to move on to the next step. So I'm going to load the filament in here until it stops. Okay, let us review these parts before we continue. So again, here's my temperature. This is speed control, so slower to faster. Okay, this is my temperature, which is fine. Here is the load button and the withdrawal button. So think about this like start, and this is stop. So all I did was load my filament in right here, but nothing is coming out yet. So what I need to do is take this feed, remember that's kind of thinking about like the start button, and I'm going to double click it, and that is going to start the process of the filament loading into the pen. So you'll know when it's working when you hear that noise, okay? All right, and I can kind of hear it chugging through there as it's moving through, and should start coming out the tip any moment. It is moving through, just takes a moment, so be patient. My speed, oh, there we go. See, it started to come out. Okay, at first it was a different color, so now I'm going to slow it down. Okay, so adjust the speed. So this first little bit I'm going to ignore. I'm going to adjust the speed, and then I'm going to work on my drawing of the neuron. Okay, however you're going to do it. So again, wearing this silicone helps, right, because you are able to touch it, because it is absolutely going to be hot. All right, so the importance is you're going to need to kind of press it to kind of hold it into position. Okay, if you are ready to switch colors, okay, what you are going to do is press this button right here. Okay, let's slow it down. And I'm going to press and hold this button right here when I'm ready to stop. Okay, so do you see now that was able to break off? Okay, perfect. Now the filament has come free. There we go. I'm finished with this color. All right. Okay, so I am ready. So do you hear, can you hear that noise? That is the continuous feed. So before I start this process of switching colors, I'm going to press this. The sound stops. I've turned off the continuous feed. That's important, okay? And then I don't think the speed matters at this point, but what I want to do is press and hold this withdrawal button until I'm here. There you go. Hear it? Keep going, keep going, keep going. This filament is coming out. Keep going, keep going. Press and hold that withdrawal button. See the button I'm holding right here? This is the feed. That's withdrawal. Keep holding until the filament comes free. There we go. See how that it came out at the end? It's got this little, all right. So what I'm going to need to do in order to have it ready for the next person to be able to use it is just trim that edge. I'm going to trim it at a straight edge. Okay, so then this color will be ready for someone else to use. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to get ready to add my new color, right? So again, what I need to do is insert the color into here until it stops. Then I'm going to press this. If I press it one at a time, it's going to slowly do it. I can hold it. Double click it, okay, to let it continue on its own, and it should be loading in. Okay, if it doesn't catch, do you see I just had to kind of feed it back in for a second, and now I should watch, and I have this tiny little smidgen of green left here, and that should swap out as soon as my yellow filters through. So I want to make sure I don't get tangled in my color that's coming through. There we go. So you can see there was initially some green, all right, but now we have our yellow. All right, so we're able to begin. Again, you can see the usefulness. All right, this might be a fast speed, so I might want to slow that down. Okay, and decide how I'm going to build it. You have complete flexibility as it is building. So do you see these small little strokes are helpful. Okay, so let's slow this down. Now I want to stop the continuous feed. I'm going to double click here. Okay, and that stops that feed, and then I'm able to press withdraw, hold it, let this come out naturally on its own. It will eventually get all the way through. Okay, I should never leave this pen with filament in it, but you're going to repeat this process to use the colors that you need or want. Okay, I recommend at least using a couple of colors. All right, so again, I'm still holding this withdraw button, letting this filament come out. There we go. I'm going to let that go. Came out. Remember, we have this kind of little bit connected here, so I'm just going to trim that so then it's ready for the next person to use. All right, and then you're going to continue this process. So again, ideally, okay, you are using this to hold and shape and press and mold as you want, changing colors as you see fit. Okay, when you are ready to finish, you will have completed your last color. You should not have anything blatantly attached here at the tip. Okay, but again, I'm only touching it because I have this silicone tip on my finger. I would not touch that with my own finger. Okay, our last step here with this one is we're going to need to turn it off. So I can unplug here. I'm going to want to do that. I'm going to want to leave this pen on this mat. Why? Because this is a heat resistant mat, and I don't want anything to melt. So I'm going to want to leave the pen on the heat resistant mat. Okay, these parts, well, hopefully yours, your model looks better than this at this point. You're going to take that with you. These little pieces that I cut off, I'm going to throw out. All right, and then this cord, right, that was connected with the block, okay, those are going to go in the basket so that they can be used by the next person. All right, so I take the cord and the block and put them back in the basket. I'm going to return the filament that I used, okay, and then that's it. I'm going to return this little silicone fingertip to the little bin that it belongs in, and then that's it. So that is how to use, again, this is the version of the pen, the MYNY3D Pro. That is how you work this one, okay? There will be a different video that shows you how to use the other pen, maybe slight differences. All right, so there you go. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the whole process. Again, this pen that we're looking at is the MYNY3D Pro pen. All right, your first steps, you're going to need your block, plug it in, and then you need to take this end and plug it in here. Okay, now nothing is happening with the temperature yet until I press this feed button, and then you're going to see that that temperature, now I can see it is increasing. I'm going to want to put this silicone finger protector on this finger because I'm going to be holding with this hand. So I want to make sure that the finger, which might get near the tip, which will get hot, does not get damaged. And then I'm just going to wait. It doesn't take too long. I'm at 99. I'm about halfway there. While I'm waiting for this to heat up, I'm going to get my colors. So I have yellow, I have green. I'm going to check and make sure that the cut on here is straight across, not at an angle, which it is fine on this one, and it is fine on this one. Okay, so I don't want it at a weird angle. If it was at a weird angle, I would want to trim it first, but in this case, I don't have to worry about it. I need my silicone mat because that's what I'm going to be working on. And I just have to wait until it gets all the way up to 210. And we're at 188, so we are almost there. So again, decide which color you want to work with first. Make sure that it's not all tangled. All right, so I'm just going to pull this to kind of loosen it a little bit. All right, because it will be problematic if I'm trying to use the pen and everything is tangled. Okay. All right, so we are at 210. So now what I'm going to do is take yellow as the color I want to use first. I'm going to put it in this hole and push it all the way down until I can't push it anymore. Okay. Now I'm going to use, so let's just review what these are. This is speed, increase, decrease. This is temperature, but we're fine there. This is the feed, this is the withdraw. Okay, so I'm going to press feed. Okay. And double click it, and I want the filament to start pulling through. So what you may have to do is just kind of push it a little bit on this end so that it starts to come through, but you should hear it coming through. What I'm going to do though is increase the speed, or it's going to take me a very long time to pull the filament through. Okay. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to eventually start seeing the filament come out of the tip. And remember, this is hot, so if I do touch it, I only want to touch it with this silicone protector on my finger. Okay, I don't want, all right, there we go, finally. So now the filament is coming out. So this is hot, so you can see if I'm drawing with it close to each other, it's going to stick. I can flatten it. If this is too fast over here, slow it down. Once it starts coming out, you might want to slow it down. Okay. Decide how long you want to keep working on it. If you're like, I need to stop the automatic feed, press this. Then you just press it when you want a little bit. Okay, press it twice, and the automatic feed continues. Okay, so again, I have it on a slow speed so I can be more precise. So I'm going to want to have the filament kind of overlapping. You need to decide a speed that is comfortable for you. If you want to adjust the speed, I recommend pressing this to stop it, then adjusting the speed so that you don't kind of create some chaos in between. If you're like, okay, I am done with this color now, I am ready to move on. Now you're going to press and hold withdraw. And the filament is going to come out this end, and you're going to let it keep coming out until it pops all the way through. Okay, so let it keep coming out. Takes a little while. All right, so keep coming all the way out. All right, there we go. Now, the end is always going to have this like pointed little piece on it, and to have it ready for the next person, remember, I'm going to trim straight across, not at a weird angle. All right, so now if I want to switch colors, I'm just going to go through the same process again, but my temperature is already hot, so I don't need to I don't need to press the feed button right here to get it started. I can just go straight back here, put the color in, press the feed button. One at a time would take for a very long time, so I recommend double pressing, changing the speed to fast until the filament starts coming out. So I'm waiting to see the filament coming out. Okay. Again, I'm making sure at the end that the filament is feeding through. Sometimes you kind of have to give it a little bit of a nudge. All right. So I don't have any filament coming through yet, but I do feel it moving and I do see it moving. So it's going to start, but it has a little bit of a distance to get through here. Oh, there we go. So we started to get some filament. We have the yellow that's left, and now you see it switched to green, putting those close to each other. Again, you can use this finger on the side, slow it down. Okay. So that's really slow. If I want to stop automatic feed, press this, and then I can just press this one at a time. Get a little burst. Okay. If I want it to be automatic feed again, double click this. So if you just click, there we go, double click fast enough, and then I can adjust the speed midway. Midway for me is kind of a good speed where you can be a little bit precise. If you want to be more precise, you might want it slower. Okay, now press this when you're ready to be finished. You're done. Press and hold withdraw until the filament comes all the way out. Okay, so I want my color to come all the way out. And it takes a little bit of time, so I'm watching right here. Okay, so I can pull this a little bit to see if I'm out yet, which I'm not. So just let that continue out. Keep holding the withdraw button while that's happening. Oh, finally, it came loose. I can let go. All right, so again, I do have this sort of stretchy piece at the end, so use a pair of scissors and trim straight across. And there you go. So that's how you get it started, how you swap the colors, the whole process. So what do you do when you're ready to be finished? Well, you're going to unplug it, unplug your block. You're going to keep the pen on this mat because remember, this tip is hot. Okay, you're going to take your pieces, because that's what you're working on. You're going to return this silicone fingertip after you wipe it off. You're going to return it to the container. There are alcohol wipes there for you to wipe it off. And then you are going to take the cord and the block and put that back in the box. Okay. And then you're going to take the filament that you didn't use, put that back so it's ready for the next person. And there you have it. That is the whole process of using this one in particular, the MYNY3D Pro.